Well, there's never a shortage of bank bashing in Australia. It's often said to be a national sport. But in this edition of the program, we'll be hearing about an initiative the Big Four have all been involved with, one that flies far further under the radar than mortgage rates. The banks, and many of our big corporates for that matter, are supporters of a trainee program run by the Aboriginal Employment Strategy. Now, it aims to support Indigenous students both in school and out, giving them a leg up when it comes to entering the workforce. To tell us more, I'm joined in the studio by Courtney Frail, who's a second-year trainee in the program. She's working at the Commonwealth Bank. And CBA's Manager of Indigenous Employment, Phil Lockyer, is also here, along with the CEO of the AES, Danny Lester. Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you.
Danny, I'll start with you. The founder of the AES, Dick Estes, is a cotton farmer from up around Moree. I was talking to him not long ago, and he said to me, you know, the AES is often confused with the Aboriginal Employment Covenant, which sort of, I guess, came to prominence through Twiggy Forrest. Could you start by telling us a bit about the AES and what it does in broad terms? Because it is a very different organisation, it should be pointed out.
The Aboriginal Employment Strategy, we're a recruitment company, so we specialise in placing Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people into careers. And through the work that we do, through that placement process, we work closely with organisations such as CBA and the other three major banks to ensure that career opportunities are available for Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islander people who want to pursue a career in banking. For us, since 1997, we've gone on a significant growth phase, and from 2005 to present, we've actually grown from 3 offices to 14 sites across Australia, and I'm very proud to say also that we've nearly got 100 full-time employees associated to our organisation, and last financial year, Kylie, we actually placed over 1,840 Aboriginal people into jobs and careers, which is a great feat.
Why was banking chosen? How come it started there?
Well, it started back in 2002, and it was Dick Estes and the previous CEO had a conversation with John McFarlane, the previous CEO of ANZ, and said, well, how can we initiate youth employment within your organisation? And it was John McFarlane's instinct and initiative that brought about the creation of the school-based traineeship program. And then following that, the regional CBA executive manager, Ross Elsley, followed suit and followed straight behind ANZ. So CBA and ANZ have been pioneers in this space for some time, and the school-based traineeship program, Kylie, is only one of many programs and strategies that the Aboriginal Employment Strategy rolls out.
So, Courtney, how did you become involved? Did you always have dreams of working for a bank?
Well, I was going into my senior years of high school, and I was short on a subject. I already had business studies, so I went to my careers advisor and she said, hey, you know, there's a course where you can go, you get a certificate 2 in business services, and you can get to work at a bank. I think it would be a good opportunity. So they gave me the encouragement and the advice to go and actually, apply for it. And then, yeah, I was lucky enough to get it. So, yeah.
Excellent. And Phil, tell us a bit about CBA's involvement with the program.
Well, as Danny mentioned, we've been involved since 2003, starting in regional New South Wales. And for us, it's a very exciting program because it's about providing that career opportunity for young Indigenous people, but also it links into our commitment about customer service, having young Indigenous people serving Indigenous customers in areas like Kusula, where Courtney is really important for us. And we think that we can have a better understanding of our customers if we have, a staff that reflects the customer base. And it also acts as, I guess, a succession plan for us as well, in areas where it's difficult to find staff. There's a lot of areas where there's Aboriginal people who are, looking for opportunities, looking for work. We can provide that opportunity for them. So it really meets a business objective for us as well.
Was that one of the reasons that the banks sort of became involved in the first place, is that they are one of the few, big businesses, I suppose, banks and supermarkets, where there's one in every regional town, and that suits, a lot of Indigenous communities.
Yeah. And, look, and the key thing in that area, Kylie, is that they do represent not just urban areas, they represent regional and remote areas as well. So it's a fabulous opportunity, and where we see great levels of traction is where career development opportunities can occur. And what we've seen since 2002 is a great level of career development, and we currently see now graduates from our school-based traineeship program now being employed as business banking managers. So, and they're only 22, 23. So we're very proud of the relationships that we've got with our community, with corporate partners like CBA, and certainly in terms of the career direction going forward, Aboriginal employment is certainly going to be very positive.
So Courtney, I mean, there's two ways that you can do this program. You can actually start it while you're still in high school, or you can do it when you finish. Did you do it once you'd finished, or are you still...
I'm still in high school.
You're still in high school?
Yeah, I started working at the bank when I was 15, so I've been with them for a year now, so yeah, I'm 16. So
and that's going to give you, one would imagine, a fairly big leg up in terms of you finished school and you've already got all this real work experience.
Yeah.
What would you say are some of the benefits that you've learned from actually starting work so young and getting this experience while you're still at school?
Well, I know how to communicate with people. Like, I was so scared at first, but, you know, I'm confident now, and, you know, I've learned some skills that I'll use for the rest of my life, and, yeah.
And look, and the maturity that young people like Courtney bring and they develop and they actually bring into our branches is really exciting. And our branch managers and our staff in the branch, who are obviously older than Courtney would be, find it a really positive experience for them as well.
Tell us about some of your success stories.
Well, we've got quite a few, and like the other banks, we've got staff former trainees who are moving into management and leadership positions. We've also got trainees who have gone to university. One young girl in particular who was with us for school-based traineeship, finished a couple of years ago, is now studying a commerce degree and working in our business banking section. So for us, it's very exciting. So we get to work with her development, and we actually are part of her career from the time she's a teenager into university, and hopefully we can keep her in the bank.
Keep her there. And is the idea to, is it all just about, okay, they start training young in banks and that's where they end up, or is it more about learning skills and then that just gives them more options for later on in their career?
Definitely. It's about skills development, and as Courtney alluded to, customer service is very important, communications are very important, but then in particular product knowledge in terms of career development is critical as well. We're very proud of the program, Kylie, that we run Australia-wide with school-based traineeship, and as I mentioned, this is only one of many strategies and programs that the AES conducts across Australia. And in fact, currently we've got in excess of 44 host employers that are aligned to our school-based traineeship program. And it's not just the banking sector. We also got partnerships with Qantas, Australia Post, Telstra, Centrelink, Woodside, Worley Parsons, the list goes on in terms of the 44 host employers, and that's growing. Coles just started a relationship with us this year, and others are following as well. What the extreme benefits of this program, one of many, is that it's creating career mindset and attitudinal change amongst Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander youth, which is what we need, because what we don't want is another generation full of welfare.
And Kylie, also one of the real benefits, especially in regional areas where the program began, is that you see young Aboriginal people working behind the counter and interacting with non-Indigenous people in that community. As the Commonwealth Bank, we're the centre of the economic heart of any town and community we are located in. So having Aboriginal kids serving non-Indigenous people really helps to break down those barriers, and really, I think, develops a sense of role modelling for other young Indigenous students who say, well, you know, look what Courtney's doing, I hope I can do that in a couple of years. And that's really exciting.
You talked about, you know, some of the numbers of the people that have been coming through. I think just last month you had another 140 graduates coming through the program. So how quickly has this program grown?
It's grown over the last 9 years, and it was gradual, and it was specifically gradual because we wanted to ensure quality on retention. So since 2002 to current, we've had it in excess of over 600, 700 graduates in this program for school-based traineeships and also the full-time traineeships. But if I go back to school-based trainees, 140 graduated last year, and 70% of those individuals are staying with the host employer or seeked other employment opportunities. The other 30% have actually gone into further education like university or further vocational training like the TAFE. So we've actually ensured that the post-destination of these graduates last year, we've actually tracked every single one of them. So we're really proud of that feat, because what we don't want to see is these individuals going on welfare, because that's not the future.
Courtney, what are your plans?
I want to go to UNSW in Sydney, so yeah, that'd be my dream uni to go to. I'm very interested in education, but I do want to stay with the bank for many years to come, so yeah.
Do you think, do universities also, you know, look quite favourably on students who have been through these kind of programs?
Oh, I think it shows a level of not just the confidence, the maturity, the workplace experience. They're working in an adult environment. They're understanding the needs of banking. You know, each individuals and each businesses they're working with, they really are having a great understanding of what those financial services needs are. So for these students to go into university, they're going to go in with a lot more maturity and understanding of how the world operates than a standard high school student.
Just tell us a bit more, Phil. I mean, I know CBA and a lot of our big corporates have a broader reconciliation plan, and everyone has various strategies in there. Tell us a bit about CBAs and how this fits into that.
Well, ours is all about providing opportunities and developing pathways. So along with the school-based traineeship program and our full-time traineeship program, which we do work in partnership with the AES, we also provide a lot of pre-employment programs as well for adult job seekers to ensure that we're actually finding people with potential, and then with that potential we're actually building the skills and developing them so that they're going to be able to come into the branch, come into our business and be able to deliver the same kind of capacity as anyone else. So really it's about the traineeship opportunities, the pre-employment development opportunities, and also ensuring that we provide opportunities for people like Courtney who finish and are working with us and then develop their leadership capacity within the bank.
It's really moved a long way on from that sort of, you know, charity focus that we used to have, that there are so many now programs like this operational.
Very much. For us, it's not about charity. For us, it needs to be embedded in the corporate DNA of all organisations, and you don't have to be top of the chain in terms of a global organisation to be part of this. Small to medium enterprises can play a huge part too, especially in regional and remote Australia. One of the aspects that we've got to work towards, Kylie, in my view, is that we need to start to increase the representation of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in the private sector. And we've certainly come a long way in the last 9 years, but there's so much still to be done. And certainly one of the areas of opportunity is partnerships like with CBA and others, because employment is certainly the answer in terms of future development, social connection and cultural development as well, because we've got to work in two worlds, and certainly our school-based traineeship program is a start for our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander youth.
Yeah. So just quickly, where do you see the government's role in all of this? Because you speak to a lot of people in positions like yours who say, you know what, we're just going to do it. We're not going to wait for funding or support or anything. We'll just go ahead and get it done.
It's true, because, you know, private sector, CBA, others, they get out there and make it happen, and that's the beauty around the partnership. Sometimes we get it wrong, sometimes we get it right. All the time we get it right, in fact, because what we are doing is changing the way things have been done in the past. And certainly the Australian government and the state and territory governments are there to play a part, a funding part that needs to be specific, needs to be flexible and less rigid. I think the key thing going forward is to ensure that government provides a funding that's supporting programs that are evidence-based and results-driven, and I can assure you our school-based traineeship is delivering that.
Yeah, it's an interesting program. Danny, Phil, Courtney, thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you all. That is all we have time for in this edition of On the Record. Next week, What Business Wants, we'll have some of the key voices of industry with their 2012 wish list. See you then.